Hi everyone, so thank you for joining me on day 4 of our 5-day challenge. It is flying by. So today we are going to be looking at strength and building some strength now. So we're going to start with some standing exercises and we're going to start with some squats. I'm going to turn to the side so that you can kind of see what I'm doing from the side. But we want to have our feet, let's go slightly wider than hip width apart here. And we still want to have the outside edges of our feet straight. So we're thinking about that alignment. Have your weight back through your heels so that you're backing your weight up and already you can feel that there's some work in your glutes, which are your bottom, and your hamstrings, the back of your thigh. Okay, we're going to do some very small squats to begin with. And I want you to imagine that you are going to sit down on a chair, okay? So we're going to stick our bottom out like you're about to sit on a chair and come back up to standing. So we're going to start fairly small. Keep your weight back through your heels, and as you come back to standing, push through your heels and use your glutes and hamstrings. You can let your arms come out in front just to give you a little bit of counterbalance, and stick your bottom out and stick your bottom out. So the mistake that a lot of people make with squats is that they don't like to stick the bottom out. You know, it's like, the ladies, we don't stick our bottom out. And I see a lot of people kind of tuck the bum under and they'll kind of be here and they'll say, oh, I can't really do the squats and it hurts my knees and everything's kind of tucking under. You've got to stick your butt out, okay? Stick your butt out. Imagine there's a little tiny stool behind you and you're about to sit down. So start challenging yourself. Can you go a little bit lower? You go as low as you can, or as low as your body will allow you to go, while still being able to breathe and still being able to talk normally. So if your squats are here, but you're using your glutes and your hamstrings, then you are doing a really good squat. Much better than getting down really low and having that tucked under position and that rounded back and just really losing all of your alignment, okay? So we want to keep our heels down, keep our weight back through our heels and stick our bottom out. So the other thing I want you to think about while you're doing these squats is what's happening with your rib cage. Always thinking about your alignment. Quite often as people start to squat, they'll lift the rib cage and kind of throw the ribs forwards, and this will give you, I don't want to say pain, it's compression in your lower back. So if you start feeling anything in your lower back, that's probably what you're doing, is you're arching your back and lifting your ribs. Keep going. You're getting out of breath yet? We're going to do 2 more. And last one here, and then just coming out of that, just give your legs a little shake. And we're going to go next on to one of my favourite exercises for building strength, and this is your pelvic list. So those of you that have been with me for a while will know that I put pelvic list in everything because it is just that good and it does so much good for your body. So, feet are hip width apart, outside edges straight. Back your weight up through your heels. Okay, so now we're going to press all of our weight down into one side. We're going to push this leg down into the floor, and this leg is going to then float off the floor and lower down. Same side again. Push all of your weight down. So pushing this side of the pelvis down, and the other side is lifting and lowering down. So keep going, just on that same side. Push down, other side lifts. Push down, yeah, keep going, keep checking in. So notice if your weight is sliding forwards and you've got a lot of pressure through your toes. Notice if you are using your lower back. So the other way, keep going, the other way that you could do this movement would be to hike this hip up and use the muscles of your lower back. So if you're feeling any sensation in your lower back, just kind of stop for a minute, give yourself a little bit of a wriggle, and then go back and do it again. And really focus on pushing down. So it's these lateral hip muscles that we're using, which we're going to use to stabilize the pelvis and to strengthen your glutes, all of the muscles of your lateral hip. Let's just switch and do the same on the other side. Again, just check that your feet are in the right position. Press all of your weight down into that standing leg, and the other side will just lift. It might be different on one side to the other. We always have one side that's much better at things than the other side. You're always much stronger on one side, you have better balance on one side, and this exercise is no exception. This is my worst side. and I try and cheat on this side and stop doing the movement to talk. But I'm not going to do that today because I've already confessed now, so you'll be able to tell. So keep pressing that leg down, and you will just notice. Maybe you tire quicker on one side. 2 more. Ooh, 1 more time. Let's go back to that first side again. Same thing. Weight back through your heels. Press that leg down and float the other leg up. Float the other leg up. So both legs need to stay straight. So notice if you are bending your knee. Notice if you are maybe leaning to one side. And to begin with, you might lean to one side, and that's okay to begin with, but eventually you want to try and keep your body in alignment so that you are really loading the muscles of the lateral hip and you are making these muscles work rather than taking your body to the side and lifting your leg out. Yeah, your body is so clever. It has lots of little compensation patterns and little cheats that you're not even aware of because it doesn't ask your permission to do it. It just does it to make it easy for you. Now this time you're going to hold that leg up. So really pressing your weight down on this side. This other leg is free. Can you gently rock that leg forwards and backwards? Have you been able to lift that leg up enough for it to clear the floor? Now this exercise is really important because we need the ability to do this to be able to walk properly. Last one. Whew, lower that leg down. Yeah, that's quite a lot of work. Same on the other side. Make sure the outside edge of the foot is straight. Weight back through your heels, and let's do some more listing on this side. Looking again for any compensation patterns. So are you leaning? Are you bending your knee? Are you letting your weight slide forwards? How's your balance on this side? Yeah. Okay, and then again, let's list again on this side. So we've lifted the leg, and then can you rock that leg forwards and backwards without having to put your leg down? And have you been able to lift high enough so that your foot can clear the floor? So now this standing leg is doing so much work. Pelvis stay still. Last one. Oh, you can see how hard it is all around this side. And then lower your leg down. Just a little prance here, so you're just lifting alternate heels. And just let that go. Okay, let's come down onto the floor now. So we're going to come down onto all fours. Okay, down onto all fours. Have your hands directly under your shoulders, knees are directly under your hips, tops of the feet are just resting on the mat. Notice now whether your shoulder blades have kind of collapsed in towards each other. Can you press into the mat and make your shoulder blades really wide in your back? Now you might not have any awareness of your shoulder blades, and that might be a really strange thing for you to hear, but just notice whether you're kind of dropped and see if you can press and think about making your shoulders wide. Okay, so from here, we're going to see if we can lift one arm off the mat without collapsing. And then place that hand back down. Can you do the same on the other side? Can you lift one hand off the mat without collapsing? Go back to your first side. So notice if your body's kind of having to go to one side, if you can feel your shoulder blade collapsing in towards your spine. How are we doing? Now this time, can you slide your arm out along the mat and then reach your arm forwards and bring it back in? Same on the other side. Nice and stable through your shoulders. Reach that arm, let it lift away from the mat and come back in. Let's do one more on each side. And then just come on off your wrists for a moment and just give your wrists a little twirl around in each direction. Give your hands a little shake. So we're going to do the same, but we're going to do the same with the legs this time. The arms are going to stay down. So again, we want our hands directly under our shoulders, knees are under our hips. We want to make sure that we're nice and stable here. So again, check that you've not collapsed into your shoulders. Now we're going to reach one leg out along the mat and see if you can keep your pelvis stable as you lift that leg. If your pelvis starts to drop, then don't lift the leg, just keep the leg long and then just bring it back in. Same on the other side, you're reaching the leg out long and then either just holding here, or you're lifting the leg and seeing if you can keep your pelvis stable, and then lowering your leg back down and bringing that leg back in. Switching sides again, leg lengthens and either holds here or lifts and lower and come back in. Reach. And then just come on back off your wrists again for a moment and give your wrists a little twirl around. So here we're trying to keep the pelvis really stable. We're noticing as we lift one leg behind us whether our pelvis is dropping on one side. So if I was to balance like a little tray, a little tea tray of afternoon tea on your pelvis, as you lifted your leg, would it all go crashing to the floor? And that's what we're really trying to work on, keeping your pelvis stable. Let's do it one more time. So hands directly under shoulders. Imagine you've got that little tea tray balanced on the back of your pelvis. As you lengthen your leg away, can you lift your leg without disturbing that afternoon tea, and then lower the leg down and bring it back in? And the same on the other side. Okay, now, I'd carry on and do a few more of those, or you can add the arm and the leg together. So if you're doing arm and leg together, it's opposites. Opposite arm, opposite leg. Reaches out long on the mat, and then lifts without collapsing and without dropping that afternoon tea, and then bring your hand and your knee back in. Same on the other side. Reach the arm and the leg long, and then no change through your body as you reach and come back in. Do one more on each side, exactly the same, and you're reaching your arm in one direction, you're reaching your leg in the other direction, and coming back in and making sure that you aren't tipping and twisting. When you finish that, just come on up to seated and just pause there. Okay, so those are some strength exercises. Now, to do them really correctly with good alignment and with all of the bits in the right place, it's quite challenging. So if you did find them challenging, don't worry about it. You've only had a few days where you've been working through some of these exercises, and you would normally build up to these over a period of weeks. If you found them really easy, very easy, then I would say just take it really slowly and really check on your alignment there, okay? So quite often we have blind spots where we feel like our body is moving really well, but actually when you start to break down the movement and you start to really look at it, we all have little areas that we need to work on, and I'm still working on plenty of blind spots, even though I have been doing this for years, because nobody's perfect. You know, we all have little compensation patterns in our body. So that was your strength workout. So we've done mobility, we've done stability, we've done strength, we did alignment at the beginning. So tomorrow we're going to look at relaxation, and I have a meditation coming for you tomorrow, and we'll look at some relaxation positions that your body really likes to get into. So if you liked this video, if you want to make any comments, or please do make comments, because I really want to hear what you find with these videos, please comment on this post so that I can see where you're up to, and I will see you here tomorrow. Thank you.